Excelsior, Minnesota is absolutely one of Minneapolis's most beautiful, most desirable, and most unique suburbs. It's historic, it's walkable, it's right on the shores of Lake Minnetonka. But do you really want to live in Excelsior, Minnesota? Today, we're going to get into the real pros and cons, from the million-dollar lake views to the parking nightmares. Here are the real pros and cons of one of the most talked about towns in all of Minnesota. That's going to be Excelsior, and we're getting into it right now. Well, maybe I'm feeling a little bit goofy today, but I'm going to actually talk you out of Excelsior before I try and talk you into it. So we are going to start this pros and cons with the cons today, because why not? Con number one, it's not going to surprise anyone who tracks Excelsior or you locals. It's going to be cost. And I'm talking mainly here about real estate, and there's a couple reasons the real estate market in Excelsior is a con. So let's get into that. First one is going to be cost, and I'm going to throw some numbers at you here. So we are talking about the period ending of October 2025. For frame of reference, we are looking at all property types here. So single family homes, condos, all the things, right? Minneapolis at large came in at $390,000. Moving right up on Excelsior's doorstep, we have lovely Minnetonka, of course. That came in at $500,000 for median sales price. Edina, one of the Twin Cities' most expensive and very highly desirable suburbs, they came in at $675,000 for median home price. And Excelsior comes in and just crushes everybody, coming in the door with a median sales price period ending October 2025, $1 million right on the nose. Interestingly enough, that's up almost 20% year over year for Excelsior. We'll probably save that for the pros. But the Excelsior real estate is expensive, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, there's not a lot of it. Just geographically, Excelsior is a relatively small, piece of the puzzle, so there's not a lot of real estate there. It is an extremely desirable location. So that's, there's not a lot of it, and it's extremely desirable. Those are the two big drivers. I think there's a few more things you should have on your radar here. My first time home buyers, move up buyers, Excelsior is awesome unless you're a trust fund baby, just to be honest. You're probably not going to get your first home in Excelsior because, again, median price is $1 million. So options are really, if you want something more affordable in Excelsior, here and there you can find it. But options for more affordable homes are frankly very, very limited. So that's going to be the first con of Excelsior, is just the cost of that real estate and some really limited options for our first-time homebuyer friends and new move-up buyers. And how rude of me not to introduce myself. If we've never met, my name is Chris, myself, business partner Trevor, our team. This is what we do. We are lifelong Twin Cities residents. We help people like you make a move here every single day. Contact information is right here. It is also down below. I know I have a fantastic case of RBF. We call that resting bitch face, but I promise I'm a happy guy. If I can help you out, drop me a line. Let's keep this video rolling. Well, we're gonna keep it moving and get right into con number two here. And I think this one's gonna be pretty subjective, but it's definitely worth mentioning. So we're gonna throw it into the con here and we'll see what you think. Con number two is going to be limited growth and smaller scale community. And I think whether that's good or bad is really dependent on you. So let's just chat about it. Excelsior is a small town, less than 3,000 residents, and because it's built out and on Lake Minnetonka, it's got a lot of historic zoning, protected green space, so there's really just not much room for new development, frankly. That means you're not going to see a whole bunch of new housing pop up, no massive shopping centers, no big box stores. You're not going to find a whole lot of new, fresh infrastructure. Sounds amazing to me, but I know some people like these kind of things. So like we say, for some that's part of the charm. It's cozy, it's stable, it's tightly knit. That's the flip side. But for others, especially those who want, more dynamic or evolving communities, Excelsior might feel limited. You're not going to find the same level of nightlife, not going to get the same level of diversity of restaurants, although there are some real good ones. You're not going to have the same housing options you're going to find in a growing suburb. And again, if you're looking for the energy of a booming town, Excelsior might feel a little bit sleepy and or set in its ways. If you're someone who thrives on change, diversity, fast-paced development, those kind of environments, Excelsior might not be for you. Of course, you can flip this whole con around, and we might just do that in the pros, but it's something to consider. Limited scale, smaller community. Well, we are going to get right into con number 3 and keep this one. I'm not going to lie, this is tough for me. I love Excelsior. I have family that lives there. I've sold a bunch of homes out that way. So ragging on Excelsior, I don't love it, but I mean, that's the point of these videos, to give you guys the facts so you decide for you. Con number 3, let's keep the bashing moving. That's going to be the seasonal and tourist impact potential crowds. That is something that Excelsior deals with. And here's what you have to understand about Excelsior. That whole lakeside charm thing, it comes with a catch. Excelsior is absolutely a destination in and of itself. It has up to 17 major events every year. They've got a huge 4th of July celebration right on the waterfront. They've got their Apple Days. They do concerts in the park. There's always something happening in the commons. So there is a lot going on. On top of that, you have the Lake Minnetonka trail system, which cuts right through the area. That draws nearly 500,000 visitors all by itself every year. So for a town of about 2,500 people or so, that is a massive influx. What does that mean for you as a resident? Especially during peak season, which is going to be summer, early fall, things like that. Downtown, the streets, the commons, the place can be pretty packed. Parking becomes a big challenge. We're going to get into that in a moment. Restaurants fill up quickly, and that small town, kind of sleepy, quiet vibe you fell in love with, or maybe love in the off season, you might find it's a bit different and or lacking in the summer during these peak months. Now, for some people, of course, that energy is part of the draw. No doubt about it. It brings a lot of support to the local businesses. But I think you want to think carefully if Excelsior's busy season is something that you can endure. So, something to have on the radar. The parking thing, I'm not gonna lie to you, that seems to be becoming more and more of an issue. Last time I went, I go to a lot of the concerts they have in the park there, and parking is nasty, my friends. Excelsior collected $84,000 in parking citations in 2024. Parking permits go for about $225 if you are an employee working downtown somewhere. And there's a lot of meter parking space, and they're about $3.50 an hour. It's not a quarter or 50 cents an hour. So there's a lot of pay for parking. There is not a lot of parking, and the pay for parking is fairly expensive. So if you are buying a home in this area, and especially if you have multiple vehicles, it is pertinent to ask yourself, where am I going to park on the weekends? What am I going to tolerate for convenience of parking? It's something to have on the radar. That's going to be con number 3. Let's get after number 4. Con number 4, and this is going to be our last serious big con, I think is going to be pretty obvious, and this is going to have to do with its location, which is also incidentally going to be a kind of part of the pros. So Excelsior, I guess, is going to be a lot of how you want to look at things. But as you can see right here on the map, Excelsior is significantly out west, about 20 miles or so from downtown Minneapolis. It's kind of all siphoned off from the rest of the suburbs and the metro as well, right? So it means the obvious, my friend. With no traffic sailing smoothly through, you're probably 30 to 35 minutes from downtown Minneapolis. You throw a nasty rush hour or some of this Minnesota snow and winter on top of that, that can turn into an hour real quick. The same is true for MSP Airport. You're about 30 to 35 minutes with no traffic from Excelsior. Throw a little snow or rush hour on there and it can get a lot nastier. Public transit options are also a lot more limited in Excelsior. So again, whether that's a big deal to you or not, it's something to know. You are a bit more removed from the rest of the metro at large. Commute times are a little bit higher. I got a few less options as far as public transit. Well, I think that pretty well covers our cons. I'm going to throw a few more at you here just to make sure we've got this covered. I like to throw a little humor in here. It's Friday. Let's have a little fun. So a few other cons to consider if you're moving to Excelsior, Minnesota. Everyone has a boat. Maybe you don't, or maybe it's not your boat. At some point, you might realize your neighbor has a 50-foot twin Chris Craft sitting in the harbor worth $2 million, and you're still Googling inflatable kayaks. Keep that in mind. Parking is a contact sport. Kind of already covered that one. You want to see Minnesota nice, go out the window, go park in Excelsior on a weekend. You may become a summer snob. That one's hard to say. Watch out that you don't catch yourself saying things like, why would I leave town in July? Excelsior is the vacation. Just be careful, trust me on that one. Pro, Excelsior's got several great ice cream shops. Con, the lines for these ice cream shops, especially in summer, will be longer than the lines for the mortgage applications. Just keep that in mind. Neighbors, people love their homes. There's a lot of beautiful homes. Don't be surprised if you get polite suggestions from your neighbor offering a new shade of green for your shutters, perhaps to enhance the look and feel of your home, and also then incidentally theirs. There's a lot of wildlife, there's a lot of ducks. You might be late for work because a family of ducks had to cross the road in front of you. Watch yourself. At some point you might accidentally become a preservationist. You're going to find yourself defending 140-year-old windows or something about porch railings. Just watch yourself there. Your visitors may never leave. Excelsior is so awesome. People will start to treat you like an Airbnb. My advice, charge them. Treat them like an Airbnb. The local events calendar can take over your weekends. And last but not least, yes, it's charming. Yes, the homes are fantastic. No, you probably can't go buy your favorite home. Careful when you fall in love with that lakeside Victorian, because when you go look it up on MLS, you're probably going to find out it's worth about $4.5–5 million. So that's it for the cons. I'm excited to move into the pros. I love Excelsior. It's a place I hang out regularly. Like I said, I got family there. So enough of this Excelsior bashing. Let's get into the pros. Excelsior, so special. That's going to be its location. This town sits right on the southern shore of Lake Minnetonka, which is one of the most iconic and scenic bodies of water in the entire state of Minnesota. And when you live in Excelsior, the cool thing means that you are never more than a few blocks from this body of water. So whether it's a morning walk by the water, walking by the docks, paddleboarding from the Commons beach, grabbing your favorite fishing rod before breakfast, heading out in the canoe, I can go on and on and on. This lakefront is very literally not just for boating, it's a lifestyle. You've got the public piers, you've got swimming beach, paved walking trails. You will find lakeside yoga in the summer. There is something energizing about living in a place where, being outdoors is not really just encouraged. And I know this is cheesy, but it's absolutely true. Being outdoors is built into the rhythm of the daily life of Excelsior. And honestly, it's not even just in the summer. Excelsior in the fall is spectacular. You get the fall colors. You can see out across the lake. In the winter, locals will skate on the bay. They will walk across frozen paths to their favorite shoreline trails. You don't just look at this lake, you live with it season after season. So absolutely the biggest pro for Excelsior is going to be its location. It's set up to this lake and just this awesome outdoor lifestyle that comes with it. Well, if pro number one was Excelsior's location, pro number two is absolutely going to be Excelsior's historic downtown, the community vibe, and just the walkability of this community. And so many of the suburbs in the West Metro, they feel kind of soulless when it comes to the downtown and having some character and not feeling like suburbia. Most of them don't do that well. Excelsior absolutely crushes this one. So let's just talk about this for a minute. So number one, Water Street is Excelsior's main drag. It goes right from the lake, right through the heart of downtown. And if you are imagining, a picture perfect downtown where you can grab your coffee, walk to the lake, pop in, do a little antiquing, bump into someone that is exactly Excelsior. Water Street is lined with locally owned gems. You're going to get from line out the door ice cream places. We talked about this in the cons. From places like Licks Unlimited, you will find cozy cafes, gift shops, one-of-a-kind restaurants. You will find no chains here. It's all about small business and local flavor. The town really shows up for community events, whether it's the Art on the Lake, Apple Days, the 4th of July, the holiday Christmas market. Water Street transforms itself with food, music, community, and this place really pulls together. The other thing that I like, and this has to do with the waterfront, this has to do with Water Street, it has to do with the size of this town. Excelsior is so walkable and it's so accessible. It's one of the few communities where if you live here, you definitely can get by without a car. And it just oozes character. So Excelsior's historic downtown, its walkability, its community vibe. I do not know if there is a suburb that I can think of that can match Excelsior in that department. That's a huge one for Excelsior. Well, without a doubt, Excelsior's location, its historic downtown, its walkability, those are the heavy hitters in the pro department for 1 and 2. But number 3 is really important, especially for you guys out there with kids, and this is a really big one for Excelsior. That's going to be the schools. So Excelsior is served by the Minnetonka Public School District. and this is rated consistently one of the best in Minnesota. Consider this, over 11,000 students in this district. It posts a graduation rate of about 98%. Furthermore, 90% of those graduates head off to college. For parents, this means you are enrolling your kid into a system where there is a strong track record of both achievement and opportunity, just to drop some cliches on you this Friday afternoon. Parent satisfaction is also extremely high. More than 9 in 10 parents believe their community gets excellent value for the investment that this school brings. And the school also stands out as far as its offering. The elementary schools include robust language immersion programs with both Chinese and Spanish options, so kids entering school, not just learning about the standard curriculum, but learning another language as well. Add to that the fact that the district draws families from outside its borders like crazy via open enrollment because the reputation is so strong, and you've got a school system that contributes meaningfully to the desirability of living here. Furthermore, we're going to show you here real quick right now on the map. You can see where Excelsior proper is, and you can see where the Minnetonka High School is. It is right down the road from Excelsior. It's actually closer to a lot of Excelsior than parts of Minnetonka. So the location of the school and the school district itself for Excelsior, you can't do much better. Well, our last major pro number 4, is going to be the real estate market in Excelsior. And obviously that was also in the con section. So it really depends how you want to look at it. From the con standpoint, yes, very high cost of entry. It's an expensive place to get into. However, not surprisingly, it's going to come with some major upside as well. So let's chat about that. The first thing you need to understand about the real estate market in Excelsior, it is as unique as the town itself, my friends. This is a very high demand, very low inventory market. The town, again, only having about 2,500 residents. Most of that land is already developed. There is no sprawling developments, no big new construction, no large subdivisions. For somebody like me, I say, thank you, that's amazing. I don't like brand new sprawling subdivisions. I think that's a huge pro. What you will find in Excelsior is a ton of character. Excelsior is filled with historic homes, including styles like Victorian, Colonial Revival, Craftsman, lakeside cottages. Here and there you will find a brand new build. One really cool thing that you will find fairly common in Excelsior, I actually had some family that did this. People will buy a home built in 1950, 1910, 1900, gut that sucker. So you kind of keep the original bones, some of that historic charm, but you basically have a new house from the inside out. Those are some of the really cool ones. A lot of those you'll find in Excelsior. But a large number of these homes are also listed on the Excelsior Heritage Preservation Register. That adds real architectural significance. No cookie cutter builds. Each home tells a story. You will find wraparound porches, hand-carved woodwork, period windows, and modern updates blended with that timeless charm. It's Friday, I'm full of cheesy cliches today, just FYI. Because this town prioritizes historic preservation, that character, you can rest assured that character is not going anywhere, and it is part of what keeps values strong. Buyers know what is available in Excelsior: walkable lakeside living with historic charm and a vibrant downtown. I can't think of anywhere else in the metro you can replicate that. Wayzata is kind of close, but it's a completely different vibe. That's going to be a different video. So I don't know where anywhere in the metro that can put the offering blended together that Excelsior does. We talked about it. Median home values are up over $1 million, but you're not just, if you're buying an Excelsior, you're not just buying a home. You truly are, back to those Friday cliches, you truly are buying a lifestyle. So I'm gonna hop into the computer here, just share a few more numbers and tidbits about this Excelsior real estate market. All right, like I mentioned, so just wanna hop in the computer here and show you a few things as it relates to the real estate world. So number one, like I said, Excelsior is a high demand, low inventory market. You can see Excelsior right here. And at the moment we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're gonna call it 6 or 7 homes for sale. As long as we're in here, let's see how much they cost. So we got this guy here, 2.2 million, 1.75, 1.75. This guy right on the lake coming in at 5.7. Ooh, low price of $624K. That gets you a 1-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. Someone's gonna rental that one. Right on St. Albans Bay, 1.3 million. So right out of the gate, you can see there's not much for sale in Excelsior. That's the first thing I want you to know. Second, just looking at the numbers, I'm not going to get super in depth. That's not the purpose of this video, but just, looking at year over year data. I mean, Whether you're looking at median or average sales price year over year is up either 18 or 24%, depending on which way you want to slice and dice that. Price per square foot up almost 5.5%. Days on market also up, and that does surprise me a little bit for Excelsior. It is early November 2025, and it's a weird market kind of everywhere, so that's kind of par for the course. Well, that is going to pretty close to do it and put a bow on it for our pro section. We've got the 4 big ones. It's fantastic location, charm, walkability, and character, a great school district, and a phenomenal real estate market. An expensive one, but a great investment and a very unique one. Similar to the cons, want to throw a few rapid fire at you just to have a little fun and to make sure we are giving you the comprehensive pros of living in Excelsior, Minnesota. So rapid fire pro number 1, you don't need to vacation anymore. You already live where people vacation, so get over yourself. There's no more vacations. You can actually walk to your boat. Name me another Minnesota town where that's not a flex, where it's actually normal. Wayzata? Maybe. We'll talk about you one day. Maybe. Your downtown looks like a Hallmark movie set. Enough said. Facts. You'll get to know your barista, your dog groomer, and your mayor probably all in one afternoon. Just take a walk downtown. Event season is year-round. Your calendar will cry for mercy. It just is what it is. Part of living there. Historic, charm, 4 days. Friendliness, yes, but also, local honey, artisan candle, $12 coffees, things like that. You'll find it all in lovely Excelsior, Minnesota. It's Minnesota nice with boutique shopping. Exactly that. That's what it is. You're 30 minutes from downtown Minneapolis, and you're just 3 steps for the water. Best of both worlds. Skyline by weekday, sunset cruises by weekend. I'm full of it today, I know. Last but not least, you're going to start referring to the lake without needing to say which one. We all know you mean Lake Minnetonka. You're one of those special people now. And last but not least, no drive-through required. Just walk down Water Street. It's got everything you need. So, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. You can tell how I feel about Excelsior just from talking about it. Again, I've sold a lot there. I've got family there. I choose to spend a lot of my free time there. For me, the cons are absolutely blown down by the pros. Excelsior is super unique. There's no place like it. If you liked the video, please give me a like. We really appreciate it. It helps us out. If you're thinking of making a move, you want some more information, contact information is all right here. It is also down below. Drop me a line. Locals, what's your favorite spot in Excelsior? Love to hear from you guys. It's Friday afternoon. I'm going to get out after it. I might even take myself to Excelsior. Thank you for joining me on this video, guys. We'll see you again real soon.